Welcome and thanks so much for joining us for this week's edition of Just Ask Freeman with Freeman Owen Jr., the one and only, of course, CEO and founder of Financial Sources, Inc. Wonderful to see you as always, sir.
Oh, fantastic. It's good to see you too, Rebecca. And let me tell you, the Secure 2.0 is here. I've got to explain that. That is a major piece of legislation. And
a lot of confusion for people who don't understand all the ins and outs, and that's why we just asked Freeman.
They sure enough do. They just asked Freeman. And folks, I've got some answers for you. I know that, Rebecca, there's been a tremendous amount of, a lot of folks who have come to see me because of this show.
Yeah.
I asked them, are you familiar with the Secure Act? And are you familiar with Secure Act 2.0? A lot of them are federal employees. They should know. But again, they don't know. Well, I explained it to them in simple terms. What is the Secure Act? How does that impact your retirement planning? Because in this show, basically, what we talk about is financial literacy.
Right.
Provide information that our viewing audience can use to have a very comfortable retirement. Well, let me tell you some good news about the Secure Act 2.0. Now, one of the major components that has changed when it comes to required minimum distributions, let me define that. Mandatory withdrawal at one time at age 70 and a half to liquidate funds from your tax-qualified plans, TSP, 401k, 403b, for the 401a. Now, these are employer, keyword, employer-sponsored retirement accounts of which you, the employee, participate in those. That's why I always advocate your own IRA. We're going to elaborate on the Roth IRA later on in the show.
Yes.
But let's get back to Secure 2.0. Now, Rebecca, have you heard of the mandatory withdrawal that the Treasury Department wishes you to participate in from your tax-qualified plans at 70 and a half?
Since I started hosting this show with you, yes.
Okay.
But before that, I don't think I even thought about it.
Okay. Well, think about this. Latter part of December 2019, the Secure Act was put into place. Now, what did that do? It changed the eligibility age, all right, or there was a required minimum distribution age increase from 70 and a half to 72. That is, if you were 70 and a half after January of 2020, you did not have to take what we call or refer to as an RMD, required minimum distribution. All right. At 70 and a half, you have to take your required minimum distribution at 72. Well, that has been extended to age 73. Now, that's where the Secure Act 2.0 comes in. All right, now, here's something else interesting. How about beneficiaries and successors?
How does that affect them if you pass away, the succession?
That's it. Now, there are beneficiaries that are eligible to receive or be the beneficiaries of tax-qualified plans, basically IRAs, and we've discussed that on some shows where we have what we call spousal continuation. That is, one spouse lives, I'm going to give it hypothetical, age 90, guaranteed income. The living spouse or survivor can continue those funds, tax-qualified plans called spousal continuation, another till she's age 110. Rules change a little bit.
Okay.
And let me continue on. Not only, now the spouse can receive be the beneficiary and receive the funds over his or her life expectancy. Disabled children can be the beneficiary of tax qualified plans and have the payout over their life expectancy.
Okay.
What about non-spouses?
Anyone you put on the line as your beneficiary, is that correct?
Well, children. I mean, yeah.
Oh, so under 18 or disabled. Okay.
Adult children, siblings, mom, dad, co-workers. Let me tell you something, folks. If you want to, it's very important to designate the beneficiaries properly. You need to know about how distributions from tax-qualified plans to non-spouses, how does that impact you? Well, you want to know? Just ask Freeman. What you got to do is call us at 833-414-7233. And Rebecca, hit that. That QR code is right there. So you need to know how the distribution of your tax-qualified plans end up. Well, would it be probate? What about the tax consequences?
And we want to avoid probate.
That's right.
And we want to give more to our families than to Uncle Sam.
Exactly. We want to minimize taxes. So what we have to do is pick up that phone and call us at 833-414-7233. And what do I ask them to do? Just ask Freeman,
ask
Rebecca.
Freeman.
Just ask Freeman. Call us today. Or there's the QR code there to schedule a no fee.
Yes. Totally complimentary.
Complimentary. Thank you for helping me out on that. I'm so used to just ask Freeman.
Yes. And well, the best part is it really is, there's no obligation.
Yeah.
There is no cost. You've done this for, gosh, almost 50 years. So it's all about educating.
Exactly.
And empowering. So you don't even charge for the first several appointments.
Exactly.
It truly is just your holistic plan. If you're even close to retirement especially, you need to know how all these things will affect you. And you don't have to have a big question mark. You can actually just ask Freeman. It is that easy. Stay with us more. We'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to talk about the importance of your legacy. And do you know who your beneficiaries are? And do you have any old 401ks hanging out there? That's another subject we'll tackle. Stay with us.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Just Ask Freeman. I'm Rebecca Powers. So honored to be here with you. And of course, Mr. Freeman Owen Jr. has changed thousands of lives with his amazing holistic approach to your entire financial future. We were talking a lot about Secure Act 2.0, sir. I want to ask you, beneficiaries, you mentioned that, and you've actually told me stories that people with the big bucks or don't have a real relationship with their advisors didn't even think to check on their beneficiaries. Don't you have some stories where it went bad?
Indeed. It went really bad. But first, let me do the good part. I just want to give a shout out to my grandson who has went all in.
Yes.
He's going to do this business, 27-year-old young man.
Amazing.
That will be extending this almost a half a century. I've been doing this business here and participating. So, Sean, I got to give you a shout out for your efforts. You committed and you're all in, and I see the success you've had since you've been licensed, and I'm just pumped up and excited for you. And again, Rebecca, speaking of beneficiaries and successors, I can extend this baby on out there another 40-some years.
He is your legacy for sure.
He's my legacy. Now, let me share some things about the legacy.
Okay.
There was a client who was supposed to be the beneficiary of her husband's income-producing assets. What he did was he had his first wife as the beneficiary. He passes, and the second wife had to go through a tremendous amount of changes because there was no spousal consent or there was no beneficiary document which can trump a will or a trust.
Wow.
So the poor lady didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Why? Folks, let me tell you, I want you to see me, and we need to update your beneficiary. Just ask Freeman, call me at 833-414-7233 and get a tax-efficient plan that I could put together with you with the beneficiary intact.
Right.
It is very important. And you need to know more about primary beneficiary and the consequences of death of the owner of an IRA or any income-producing assets where there's a contingent beneficiary.
Okay.
Folks, what would happen if the primary beneficiary predeceases the owner of the IRA? How does the contingent line up?
How does it?
Well, folks, if you want to know, just ask Freeman. You better call me at 833-414-7233. Scan that QR code and schedule a no obligation, complementary consultation so we can develop a tax-efficient plan and take an account of beneficiaries. That is very, very important. Every year, what I try to do when I have my annual review with existing clients. Do you know, Rebecca, what I put into play as far as updating beneficiary documents? I even have the adult children or whomever the beneficiary is to come and sit down and talk about
That's good.
financial literacy, succession plans, how we can have tax-efficient plans not only for them in the role of being a primary beneficiary, where they are as a contingent beneficiary, and come up with ways to define for them even language such as per stirpes and per capita, which is attached to beneficiary documents today. Folks, you want to know a little bit more about that? Give me a call at 833-414-7233. Just ask Freeman, scan that QR code, and we'll set up, no obligation, consultation to come up with a tax-efficient plan. And we're going to have another component of that we'll discuss a little later when we get to the Social Security part.
Yes.
So again, beneficiaries are very, very important. Now, let me share the consequences of a non-spouse who is a beneficiary to a tax-qualified plan.
Okay.
If that non-spouse does not take or completely liquidate the entire tax-qualified plan, IRA, 401k, TSP,
Yeah.
in 10 years, there is a penalty. All right, it was at one time at 50%. That was Secure Act. Secure Act 2.0 reduced it to 25%. And now legislation has been passed such that they don't take the RMD in that year. It's called required minimum distribution in that 10th year. Then it's down to 10%.
Of the penalty.
Of the penalty is.
Okay.
Now, Rebecca, that means if you didn't take those funds and liquidate that IRA, then that means that the penalty would be applied on the money you should have taken out. Because you're going to have young adults that are children or whatever, young adult children to say things like, that was nice, Mom and Dad, to give me an IRA, and it's in the 11th year. But I'm doing pretty good. I've got my own 401k. I'm lucky because I have a pension. Notice I keyword pensions because pensions.
So few of us do.
There's so few. I've got income producing assets. I really don't need these funds.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Treasury Department don't care.
They want their money.
Taxes. Now, I'm not giving tax, investment, or legal advice. I'm just informing you that this information is vital to securing, no pun there, securing your beneficiaries properly so that your assets are passed on to your loved ones in the proper way.
And if they're your client, they're not missing RMDs.
No.
Because you're talking about people in general who don't have a in-writing efficient plan.
They don't.
You can miss things like RMDs.
Exactly. And if you want a tax-efficient plan and you want your beneficiaries designated properly and you want to make sure that your loved ones that are non-spouses know how to liquidate a tax-qualified plan, and most likely I would advocate a direct rollover from these employer-sponsored retirement accounts to your own individual retirement account. And that goes back to when you see my book flash on the screen.
Yes.
The 10 IRA mistakes, okay, top 10, and the tax traps. Folks, if you don't want to be bothered with these tax traps, this stuff is moving like a machine.
Ever-changing,
Ever-changing. Just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233. And Rebecca, get your complimentary consultation. You need to know about the Secure Act of 2.0. You need to know how to properly designate your beneficiaries. You need to know, I need a tax-efficient plan. I'm in the distribution mode.
Right.
Now, Rebecca, let me elaborate a little bit about distribution mode. When we're younger, let me go with the advent of the 401k in 1974. There were employer-sponsored retirement accounts starting to develop, 401ks, thrift savings plans, 403bs, or employer-sponsored retirement accounts for educators, TSA, tax-sheltered annuities. We were in the 70s, 80s, accumulation phase, 90s, 2000s. Now you get close to 59 and a half, you're in the distribution phase. This is where you've got to be very, very careful on the distribution of your income producing assets, because a lot of laws has impacted distributions.
Yeah.
Now, I just talked about the Secure Act. In the event of your premature death and in an employer-sponsored retirement account, Rebecca, you have a adult child or sibling, not the spouse, what would happen here? In the event of that, Gabriel takes that person away who has that employer-sponsored retirement account, bequeaths those funds to their adult children, there's no financial literacy offered in distribution.
That's right.
Those kids don't know about the Secure Act 2.0 and the consequences of not totally distributing all the monies in that tax-qualified plan. Well, folks, you need to know. Just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233 so that we can discuss distribution to your successor and to have a legacy for your children, grandchildren, or mom, dad, siblings.
Whoever means the most to you.
That's right, to avoid costly mistakes when it comes to distribution.
I think we can all agree we want our family to have more money than Uncle Sam.
Exactly.
We want to do our part, but we don't want to pay more than we have to. Do you have an in-writing tax-efficient plan? If you don't, this is so important. And again, it is no cost, no obligation. You will absolutely love Mr. Freeman. He's amazing. There's the number, the QR code. Just aim your phone at it, the camera. It'll take you right to our landing page. And I'm sure he will share his wonderful book with you, complimentary as well. Stay with us. More with Freeman Owen Jr. right after this.
You know, retirement planning can be stressful. We pride ourselves on being different from other financial planning firms. You know, and during your initial meeting, we will get to know you and you will get to know us. We want to learn all about your vision for retirement, and together we'll design a plan to achieve your long-term financial goals. Our friendly staff will make you feel comfortable. The moment you walk in that door, call us today for your complimentary review. You deserve the retirement of your dreams. Just ask Freeman. Call us at 1-833-414 7233.
Welcome back. We were talking about your RMDs, of course, that required minimum distribution. There are so many IRA traps and things you can avoid, these mistakes that people make. Let's talk about one of those mistakes. You've told me that there are orphan 401ks.
Yes. I've talked to people who have come into the office who have seen our show. Freeman, I'd like to get a tax-efficient plan, help me with my Social Security. I am now 64 years old. I want to avoid costly mistakes. I asked them, and let's say, for example, when in the questioning, because I ask a lot of questions, I said, now, your tenure here at this school was 26 years. Were you working in another institution or in a school system or some other institution at that time? They said, oh, I was working there. I said, now, do you have a 403B or 401A there? Oh, I forgot all about that.
Right, they're 23 or 25, and they
moved to the
left
got
in the
a promotion. I'll share this, Rebecca. Here's what's happening. I shared this with my nieces and nephews when they were graduating from college, and I never will forget. I told them, I said, now, you guys are going to get promotions. Fill your 401k up. You're 22 years old.
Yeah.
You're going to be at this institution, or you're going to be in the private sector 5 years or so, and then you're going to move on to another position. Don't leave the employer-sponsored retirement account there at your old job. Do not roll that monies into another 401k with your new position, the new employer.
So you say do not roll it into the new, okay.
No, because there are restrictions on distribution, okay? And so therefore, if you, for example, if you come out, you're 30, change jobs, take that 401k and roll it into your own IRA.
Gotcha.
Now,
and that's for more tax efficiency?
More tax efficient, non-taxable event, fill up your new 401k. So that goes back to this young lady who
Gotcha.
had a 401k, got a promotion in the school system, and forgot about the 401k left there. And it had worked pretty well. All right. We end up rolling that 401k out of there, which was a non-taxable event to her own individual retirement account.
So even if 20 years had gone by, she can still, because you helped her realize it was out there, you can still move it.
Oh, still can move it. But here's the kicker. If she was under the age of 59 and a half.
It would have been a tax bill?
She still could have worked her show by still rolling that old 401k or old 457 into her own IRA. She had separated from service. And I tell clients, if they've got, speaking of, I'm going to do a transition. I'm going somewhere with this. All right, here we go. If you got $250,000, $500,000, or $1 million plus, which I've done many a rollover to, we can take a piece of that income producing asset and roll it over to your own individual IRA or Roth IRA. And I'm going to talk about the five, there's 5 questions that has been addressed to me about the Roth IRA. So that's a nice transition. You do not leave your old 401k dormant over in the previous employer's coffers there.
Right.
And you can't put money into it because you've separated from service.
Gotcha.
Roll it over there and take advantage of some of the, or you'll have tax advantages. And I'm going to talk about the Roth when we come back.
We love the Roth. Believe it or not, sir, the show is almost over. We only have 3 minutes left.
Oh, man.
You just have to join us next week, everyone. I mean, darn, what a problem, right?
Gee, we're having fun here. I
know.
I didn't realize it.
But we love the Roth. You've always said Roth is one of the best pieces of legislation, right? When they changed that tax law.
That's right. The Roth, there's the Roth 5-year rule. And I want to talk about the 5-year forever rule. Just there's a little contrast there.
Okay.
And if, and folks, excuse me, if you want to know how you can have a Roth IRA where the distributions are tax-free, just ask Freeman. Put that phone up there where that QR code is. It'll go to our landing page and schedule a no-obligation consultation. Tax-efficient plans, I talk about that, how the Roth can fit in. Well, maybe the Roth might not be for you, but folks are concerned about outliving their resources. They don't need the tax burden in the distribution mode later on. So give us a call at 833-414-7233. Just ask Freeman. Put that phone up at that QR code and schedule your no-obligation consultation. And let me tell you, Rebecca, the time just went so fast. I want to come back with the next show.
Okay.
And define the Roth IRA and how we can convert the traditional IRA into a tax-free vehicle or Roth where the distribution is all tax-free. But there are 2 rules that we have to know about.
Well, that's a good tease for next week. So we'll just say definitely tune in again. And I want to say congratulations to you, Sean. I can't wait to meet you. And your grandfather said you're going to start joining us on this show, whether you like it or not. So we're going to get you used to this. So he and Miss Carolyn could travel even more, huh? Thank you so much for joining us. There's a number again, 833-414-7233. We always say just ask Freeman. If you have any questions at all, it really is no cost. There is no obligation. Once you become a client, you get his wonderful 10 tax traps and 10 IRA mistakes, I guess you call it.
And the tax traps that is associated with the distribution of these tax.
There are many.
Many.
Yes. It's like quicksand. You don't want to go down.
That's it. And just ask Freeman. When you become a client, you'll get that text, the 10 IRA mistakes and the tax traps that are associated with it.
And you also get that personal relationship. And again, Sean will be doing this for hopefully 50, 60 more years, so it is definitely a family affair. Thank you so much for joining us. You can always go to our website, and remember, go to that QR code if you want to just go to our landing page. You can always call that number, and that first appointment will just be a get to know each other. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.